like to welcome Arthur Henry to the stage. That's a great song.
There's exaltation, there's sweet disintegration, a beauty's coloration.
I just wanted one Ellen moment. That's all I wanted. All right. So, Arthur, I'm going to tell them what I know about you. And it's that 36 years you were with the Royal Canadian Armed Forces, Air Force. I wrote it down, did my homework. And you have a psychology, Bachelor of Arts in Psychology. What's the point of writing it down if I can't read it? How about you tell us? Because I really wrote badly. It's terrible.
So went to University of Manitoba in Winnipeg.
I don't feel so bad anymore.
That's right. And St. Paul University in Ottawa for counseling and spirituality.
Yeah. So you see a lot.
I see a lot.
You work with veterans and our first responders here in town.
Yep.
Thank you for that. And being military, you did a lot of moving around.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
who in the audience, give us a little shout out if you are a military baby. I want to hear you.
There they are.
Right?
There they are.
Yeah, we got quite a bit of people here. So you wanted to talk about blooming where you're planted. Tell me more about that.
So for university students that are here from somewhere else, for military people that go from base to base, any of us that find ourselves located somewhere else, it's really hard to find our tribe.
Yeah.
And we're primates.
Especially because, like, you're leaving what you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
And humans are primates. Primates need to have social networks. We need to be part of a group. That doesn't mean if we're introverted that we're somehow weird. No, some of us get our energy from being alone, and that's cool. But we also need to have social supports. It's essential. So when we don't have that in a place, where do we turn? Well, if we're going to university, we'll hang out with people that we go to classes with. That's natural. Mm-hmm. If we're military, we hang out with other military people. But what people tell me, and from my own personal experience, and that of my wife, who's out in the audience, is that when you go to a place, no matter how short a time it is, you'll do much better if you bloom where you're planted, where you really become part of the community. You get out there and get involved with the locals. Those of you that do Shinorama at the beginning of term, you're out there, meet some people, get connected, and then you won't be complaining about how different this place is from other places you've lived. What you'll do is you'll thrive where you are. When I was about 18 years old, I went to Tacoma, Washington. And I was a young Canadian guy in the Air Force in a strange place. And I heard someone say something on the radio, driving through a McDonald's drive-thru. And the guy said, "The pot of gold is not found at the end of the rainbow. It's found along the way." And I had been waiting to return to Canada so I could be happy. I was waiting for something to make me happy. And I was wondering why I wasn't happy. Having my tribe, making my tribe, is the way of deriving happiness. So those of us that don't feel part of something here, go out and do something for somebody else. Volunteer. Because when you row someone else across a river, you can't help but get across that same river yourself. So the more that we do for others, the more that we end up becoming rooted.
And also, when I make someone feel good, it makes me feel good.
Yes.
So we're creating that endorphin. We're creating those chemicals, those happy chemicals.
Yes.
So that's part of being
It's the same
community.
chemicals you get from gambling or from drugs or from a host of other things you can get very naturally through volunteering and helping others, that feel-good feeling.
Wow. Because I'm addicted to making people feel good.
It's a good addiction.
It's a good
It's
addiction.
a very good addiction. And it helps build the community.
It does. I'm a firm believer in tribe life, so I'm really glad you're part of ours.
And what you're doing here to help others gives you those dopamine hits.
Oh, yeah.
And
I'm not sleeping tonight.
we
Just going to put that out there. Sorry, honey.
and hopefully someone else will become inspired by what you're doing here and
so.
figure out their thing to help others. And all you had to do was just be yourself.
Thanks.
You're quite welcome.
Isn't he sweet? Let's keep him.